Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I have a special project today. I'm going to make a custom set of a clipboard and two pens. I am really excited because I've never sublimated either of these types of blanks before. So totally new to me, but when PYD Life asked me if I would like to try out these blanks, I said yes, of course, I would love to. So I was very excited, a little bit nervous, but very excited when they sent these to me because I think that they would make really nice gifts. And so for this first set, because when you buy them, and they're really easy to find on Amazon, just search PYD Life, and they make so many different blanks, but I was really excited to try these because I've just never seen these blanks before. Pens I've heard of for sure, but I've never seen a clipboard that you could sublimate. So I thought that was really intriguing. And I wanted to sort of set myself up for success. And I know that this gel print has sublimated really well for me before because I made a sign on another project. And so while I was gel printing, I just decided I'll just do up a couple of extra gel prints before I put everything away. So what I did here was I used Artist Spree acrylic inks and I gel printed onto lightweight cardstock, about 60-pound cover weight. I tend to like using lightweight cardstock for my acrylic paint projects because it's a sturdier paper stock as opposed to just using copy paper, for example. And I knew with this technique, because my gel plate is not this big, I was using a small size gel plate and I just printed multiple times until I got this very freeform design across the entire span of this 11 by 17 sheet of cardstock. So I was going to be printing like multiple layers of paint, and I definitely want to use a substrate, a paper that can really hold all of that ink and hold all of those layers. So that's why I chose cardstock. And the clipboard is really easy to sublimate. All you have to do is just make a design that's large enough to cover your clipboard, or I guess you could sublimate like a small design inside it. So you don't necessarily have to do something that's edge to edge, but that's what I wanted to do on my project. So that's why I started with a sheet of paper that was so large. And now all I'm doing is just taping the design to my clipboard using a heat-proof tape. And that's going to be it. I have a large heat press. It's a 15 by 15 inch heat press. So I am going to press this design using that. But first, I actually want to show you how I prepare the pens as well. So that one's ready to go. And if you've never heard of sublimation before, because I know on my channel, I tend to do more paper crafting than sublimation projects, but sublimation is really just a chemistry term. It just means when something goes from a solid state to a gaseous state and it skips over the liquid phase. So it's like as if ice went directly to steam and skipped the part where it just turns into water. So what happens is that you have to use like a special sublimation ink. And that's why Artist Spree is so great, because you can use various different forms of media supplies. They've got ink pads, they have acrylic paints, that's what I used, and they even have markers. And so you can use any of these supplies to create a design just on regular plain old paper. And that way you don't actually have to buy a super expensive sublimation printer which can run, I think, like $300-400. So they aren't cheap. But, you know, with a sublimation printer, you can print just about anything, including text. And so that might be a little bit harder to do, but definitely still possible to do with your Artistry media supplies. But for the pens, what I did was the same gel printing technique, only this time I did actually print it onto copy paper. I just made sure that I was working in super thin layers of paint. And the reason why I went with copy paper was I did have this project in mind to wrap the pen barrel with this design. And the barrel itself, the diameter is so small. So I really felt like it was going to be key to use something thin, to use a thinner paper so that it can more tightly and easily wrap around the barrel of the pen. So because I'm going for something that's a little bit of a seamless wrap, I am going to put some heatproof tape on the back of the design. And the reason is because this is just plain old copy paper. It's pretty thin. So it's possible that when I wrap this around the pen barrel, on the end where it overlaps itself, it's quite possible that the ink on the top layer of paper, it actually might sublimate all the way through to the pen. And so the reason to add that bit of heatproof tape to the first layer of paper is so that it actually forms a barrier so that ink will not actually go through to the barrel of the pen, creating sort of like a double image where the two papers overlap and both designs actually sublimate onto the pen. So that's the reason to do that. And when you buy these PYD Life pen blanks, it does come with the little shrink wrap sleeve to put it into. And so normally when I do the shrink wraps, it's for something like mugs, you know, something round like a mug or a tumbler. And it's to help keep the design tightly held against your blank. And normally what I do is it's a shrink wrap. So you would normally take like a heat gun and shrink it, but it's the wrap is actually a pretty tight fit around the pen. So I didn't actually bother shrinking it. I just tossed it into the oven, which you'll see in a bit. So I want to thank PYD Life for sending me these products. And if you want to check any of them out, or any of the other amazing sublimation products that they have, including all the accessories that you might need for sublimating, a wide variety of blanks, and as well heat tools. So PYD Life does have heat presses and heat sublimation ovens. And so if you want to check all of that out, I'll leave links to it in the description box below. Readily available on Amazon, so pretty easy to get it if you're able to shop Amazon. And as well, PYD Life is offering a giveaway. So if you've always wanted to try sublimation, then expand the description box below. I'm going to leave a form to Rafflecopter. So you just need to enter your information there. I'll pick a random winner. Take note of the deadline for entering, and I'll post the winner to my it used to be called the community page, but now they just call it posts. So I guess it's the post page on my YouTube profile. So I'll post it to my YouTube profile, and then I'll pass your information on to PYD Life, and they'll send out a prize to you. So I'm really excited. And don't worry if you've never done sublimation before. You don't really need a lot of supplies. If you go for something like a flat blank, like the Clipboard, for example, then you can just use potentially an iron might get hot enough, or if you have a small Cricut heat press, that could work as well. So I've got side-by-side footage. On the left is my oven, which is what I'm using to sublimate the pens. On the right, I have my 15 by 15 heat press, which is what I'm using to sublimate the Clipboard. And so when the timer goes off, all you have to do is on the heat press, you can just peel up a corner and take a little sneaky peek to see if it transferred okay. But the pens, using a sublimation oven always creates a little bit of anxiety because you can't sneaky peek it. You just have to trust that the instructions, and PYD Life does have all of the instructions for like the temperature, the timing, and all that good stuff. And you just have to trust that it'll turn out okay. And it turned out great. It's sublimated beautifully. The colors are gorgeous. And here is my Clipboard. So the pens are super easy, but I didn't actually show unwrapping it because getting the shrink wrap off was actually a little bit challenging because it's such a tight wrap, and because I didn't get to it while it was still warm. Because what happens while it's warm is that shrink plastic is still kind of malleable and it's easy to actually peel off. But once it hardens, it can be a little bit tougher. So I did all of that off camera. Now with the with everything out of the oven, you can kind of reassemble and put all of the pieces back in. So you can put the pen, the inside of the pen and the actual like ink of the pen back into its barrel. And for the Clipboard, you can set the actual clip part into the top here. So all the hardware is included, and it's really simple, really easy to put this all together. Really, the hardest thing about it is that I don't readily have a screwdriver in my craft room, so kind of had to improvise a little bit. So I used my weeding tool from my Cricut, and I just, because it's got a flat edge, it kind of worked out okay in place of a flathead screwdriver. So use what you have, but I think that turned out great. I might go and tighten it a little bit with a proper screwdriver, but that worked out pretty well. And there it is, my Clipboard with 2 pens to match. So I had a lot of fun with this project. I can't wait to do more. I think these make for great gifts, and I want to actually try to make maybe some crafty fun with friends clipboards with some actual lettering and everything. So that might be something that I tackle next. If you are interested in any of these products, I'll leave links to them in the description box below, and as well I'll leave a link to that giveaway entry form where you can win a prize from PYD Life. Thank you again for catching my video, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.